Okay, so we're going to get started, and I apologize for all the technical difficulties that we are having this morning. But I also want to start off by thanking everyone, all our presenters, for being here. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all of the audience, because really without the audience, this wouldn't, we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So thank you for all our self-advocates, our families, our parents for attending. We hope that we can provide you with information that's going to be relevant and going to help you get into our self-determination program, or at least provide you with more information. Les quiero dar las gracias y la bienvenida a todos los presentadores de hoy y a todos la audiencia, especialmente de habla hispana, porque son una parte muy grande de nuestra comunidad. Muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy con nosotros. Les pido disculpas por todas las dificultades que hemos tenido esta mañana con el problema de Zoom. Es nuestra primera junta que tenemos así. Les pedimos disculpas y muchas gracias por atender. Hoy tenemos 3 presentadores que proveen servicios de planificación en la persona, y uno de esos también es un facilitador independiente. Y después tenemos 4 compañías de Financial Management Service, financiera, que ayudan con las finanzas. Entonces vamos a empezar primero con los, con Carlos, con Elizabeth y con Will. Y después vamos a terminar con Tran, Yvette, y Mark y Mr. Jones, que son los de FMS. Y al último le vamos a abrir la oportunidad para que todos pregunten, hagan sus comentarios. Vamos a tratar de agarrar las preguntas y respuestas, pero si no, pueden poner todo en los comentarios y después les llegamos a llegar toda la información. So what I was saying is that for presenters, we have 3 person-centered planners, and one of those 3 is also an independent facilitator. And we also have 4 financial management service providers. We are breaking it up to the first 3 will be the independent facilitators and our person-centered planners. The last 4 will be our financial management service providers. And at the end, we will open it up for all of the audience to ask any questions or comments that they may have, to share those. Also, if we have other questions that we cannot get to because of time, please put them down in the chat. We will keep track of that, and whatever we can't get in response today, hopefully we can write everything up and get them to everyone that is attending, or we can post them up on our website for people to be able to access. We will also have this, it's now being recorded, so people will be able to access this if they were not able to log on today. And I do know that we have some presenters that are bilingual. If you would like to speak in English and then translate it to Spanish, your own information, that would be great. If not, let me know and I will be able to translate for everyone. I know sometimes people like to speak about their own program, and that's fine as well. And again, I do want to apologize for all the technical difficulties. I also wanted to let everyone know that we do have our self-determination team here. Our 3 service coordinators, Michelle, Tanya, and David. So all you providers can see who you guys work with directly from our regional center at Valley Mountain. Angie and myself, who are the program managers. And for our families, these are the service coordinators that you'll be seeing for those who wish to move forward with self-determination. A todas las familias que desean estar en el programa de autodeterminación, o los que ya están en el programa, aquí está el equipo de autodeterminación para que los conozcan también. Es Michelle, Tanya y David. Angie y yo somos las supervisoras que les estamos ayudando. Tanya y David, cualquier pregunta que tenga, aquí estamos para servirles And so with that, we'll get started with Milestone Facilitation Services. So Mr. Carlos and Stella.
All right, how are you guys? Okay, how do I get control of the PowerPoint?
I just gave you control, so it's
okay.
You. There you go.
Okay, so let's see. Okay. Okay, so I have 15 minutes. I'll try not to talk for 2 hours here. So, hey everybody, my name is Carlos Fernandez, and I just wanted to introduce myself and say hi. Right now, my wife is going to start off with the beginning of the presentation, and here she is.
Good morning, everybody. Go ahead and read it quickly. First off, I wanted to thank the VMRC team for putting this presentation together. We're very excited to present on our background and how we can best serve our clients. So I wanted to get started off by kind of talking about who we are and where we come from. As Carlos mentioned, we are a duo team. So who we are,
Stella?
We are a multicultural family of 4. Both Carlos and I come from very diverse cultural backgrounds. I think this is very important to note because cultural competency and cultural awareness is extremely important in any field that we serve. And this is definitely something that we focus on very heavily when we're serving our families, our clients, the residents as well. We are current owner-operators of a step-down behavioral home for adults, serving individuals ages 18 to 59. We are active community board members working with various interdisciplinary teams in various counties. We're very, very familiar with our surrounding counties. Currently, we are serving the 5 counties surrounding us, and Carlos will go into that a little bit more throughout the presentation. We have over 16 years of combined experience working with the developmentally disabled population. Carlos and I used to be DSPs, direct service professional staff, live-in staff for behavioral homes. From that, we had the opportunity to serve as instructors for various day programs, primarily in Kern County. We also had the opportunity to serve in the schools. I have various experience in the school districts. I've been an educator for on and off about 15 years. I've had the opportunity to serve in special education. I've served in the general education population. So we have a very great relationship with the school districts surrounding us as well. We have both had the privilege and opportunity to work for Valley Mountain Regional Center in various roles. We have worked as service coordinators. I was specialized with children and adults. Carlos had the privilege to work with both children and adults. He also was involved, he was in special projects. And lastly, he was the cultural specialist for Valley Mountain Regional Center. So we have a established relationship with the regional center as one. We're very familiar with their services. We are both active mental health board members. Carlos is the president of Stanislaus County Mental Health Board. We're both active community advocates. We both are interpreters. I am bilingual. I am fluent in Assyrian, and Carlos is fluent in Spanish. And like I had stated before, we're fairly familiar with the 5 counties that we provide services in: San Joaquin, Stanislaus, Tuolumne, Calaveras, and Amador counties. Moving into our educational background, as independent facilitators, we both hold bachelor's degrees. My bachelor's degree is a concentration in liberal studies with child development concentration. Carlos had an emphasis in business management. We both hold adult administrator credentials. We are CPI trainers, which is the Crisis Prevention Intervention Behavioral Management program that we specialize in. We are CP first aid trainers. We both hold independent facilitator certifications. As mentioned before, we are involved with the mental health board. Carlos currently serves as the mental health board president of Stanislaus County, and we both serve on board members of Christian Berets, which is a local Christian camp that serves individuals with developmental delays.
Okay.
So how can we serve you? We can provide you with person-centered planning, and we're both independent facilitators. And I'll go ahead and let Carlos take the rest on. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So because we are having troubles with our translators, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all that, but real quick, just so everybody understands it. So my name is Carlos. My wife Stella just spoke clearly in English. Somos una familia de 4. Somos multicultural. Mi esposa es de Irak y yo soy de salvadoreño. Nosotros somos dueños de un hogar de comportamientos de adultos de los años 18 a 59. Yo y mi esposa somos muy activos en la comunidad. Somos miembros de muchos grupos, uno siendo el grupo de Stanislaus County, el comité de Mental Health. Yo y mi esposa tenemos más de 16 años en esta comunidad trabajando con personas con discapacidades. Otra cosa que hacemos es que los dos, yo y mi esposa, éramos trabajadores de Valley Mountain Regional Center. Ella trabajaba para muchachos de 14 años a 18 años de transición. Yo trabajé para el departamento de niños, de adultos y de proyectos especiales, que son algunos adultos que están en casas en crisis. Y por último fui el cultural especial, el culturista especial. Entonces estamos muy familiares con los servicios que da el centro regional. Los condados que nosotros servimos somos los 5, que es San Joaquín, Stanislaus, Tuolumne, Calaveras y Amador counties. Okay. Nuestra educación, mi esposa es maestra, ella está enseñando clases para muchachos con discapacidades. Ella tiene su título en Liberal Studies. Yo tengo mi título en Business Management, de cómo correr negocios. Somos administradores tenemos las credenciales de administradores de hogares para personas de discapacidades. Somos entrenadores de CPI. CPI es ya, como por ejemplo en nuestro hogar, nosotros no ponemos, cuando ellos están en crisis, no ponemos las manos en ellos. Tenemos que tomar nuevas tácticas para arreglar el comportamiento y cómo hacerlo sin tocarlos para que no se golpeen. También somos instructores de CPR y First Aid. De auxilios. Los dos somos facilitadores independientes y somos miembros de varios grupos. Uno es de Campar, de Christian Berets, y es un campamento para niños que tienen discapacidades aquí en Stanislaus County. ¿Cómo les podemos ayudar? How can we serve you? So I'll go to English now. So we specialize in person-centered plan and independent facilitation. I'll start off with our person-centered planning. So basically our approach to planning centers on the needs and wishes of the persons who is central to the action plan. The approach that I'm taking, our approach is can be used by anyone. We're making it very simple, and it's individualized, or any organization can use it. Whoever wants to implement or carve the path to the person who we're doing the plan for. It's very important to note that we look at the family and the sources of the family, the community support. It's very important. Like I said, I was a cultural specialist, so I learned a lot being the cultural specialist. I know how important it is to be out in the community and find these resources. Like I said, being the cultural specialist, I got to work within our catchment area, which is the 5 counties, and made relationships with a lot of service providers. Very familiar with the FMSs before they were FMSs. We use the appropriate services and support. But we try to build all these plans on, we base it on their strengths and interests. We sit down, and even if the kiddo is 7, 8 years old, we sit down, we ask him, hey, so what do you want to do? We make this very interactive. Right now, it's very important that we focus on the person, because even when I was a service coordinator and cultural specialist, I would attend IPPs and IEPs, and I would see that the main thing is this whole person-centered plan, it's useless if we don't have goals and I'm sorry, I'm going blank here, and our milestones. So basically, we want to make sure that these plans are working. What I'm trying to say is there's people that have been on behavioral plans, for example, for 5 years. Well, if we don't see any growth, it's time to chuck that plan out and bring something new. So what I'm bringing in is we're bringing accountability, not only for our providers, but for our independent facilitator. We have to make sure that these goals are measured. We also identify natural supports and coordinate services. So I help coordinate the service between the provider and the families. I will not make decisions for you. I will give you options and say, you have these options, but I will never make a choice for you. We lead and support and advocate on behalf of you in IPPs and IEP, so I can attend all IPPs, I can your support. I've been attending IEP since I was 9 years old. I'm very familiar with IEPs. Even when I was the cultural specialist, I would attend IEPs, and it's very important to be a part of the family in IEPs, because it's a horrible feeling when you're in a room with 10 people and there's only a parent there. It's a horrible feeling. So that's one of the things that I do, where I can help you an hour before, get ready, plan your agenda, and go through what we're going to talk about, be at the meeting. And we could have a post-meeting as well, where I can read the whole document to you and go through it step by step. Okay, so this is what I would do when I was a cultural specialist at the regional center. It's nothing new to me. And like I said, I've been translating IEPs because my mom used to take me to IEPs for family members. So I'm very familiar with it. Let's see, let's move on because my time is running out here. Independent facilitation. Like I said, it's great that we have service coordinators. I was a service coordinator. Or you might feel, well, I already have a service coordinator. How is having an independent facilitator going to help me? Right now, the ratios are 1 to 92. So for each service coordinator, there's 92 cases, okay? So believe me, when I tell you that, hey, we're gonna return your call within 2 business days, it's difficult, but that's what they try to do. The difference between me is I will return your call that same day. I'm dealing with people right now. I have people on my caseload already where I'm doing facilitation for them, and we're on the phone constantly. We don't have time. We don't have time to spend. We don't have time to waste on services or make sure, we're trying to make sure that all the plans are in place for them. So we'll develop your person-centered plan, assist you in making informed decisions regarding your program budget and IEP. We will identify natural supports and coordinate services, and assure that the services and support you need are the appropriate ones. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Either way, my PowerPoint's not turning. Here we go. We're having trouble here with the PowerPoint, but either way, that was pretty much my last slide. So basically what I would be is your service coordinator, except you have access daily. You would have my cell phone and we would provide services and sit down and go through your case. I know if I had a child, that's what I would want, somebody to sit down and help me, because there's a lot of, it's a difficult system to navigate, but like I said, we would train you on it. And I have pretty much a lot of experience in it. So any questions or that I can answer for you guys, please feel free to ask. Do I have time to say it in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if we had our translator yet, but let's see.
Carlos, can I also add on there, aside from the experience that we have in different sectors, we both also have personal experience. We both have family members that have developmental delays, various disabilities. So we also have that personal experience that I feel makes up a whole team. So I felt that was very important to also discuss, because we have that experience with our own family members and that understanding from that perspective as well.
All right. Okay. So, bueno, lo que estamos discutiendo es que anyway. So, también estamos escribiendo los planes centrados. Todo está basado en necesidad. Yo soy muy familiar, y yo sé que algunos de ustedes ya saben, con el centro regional y los servicios. También tengo un hermano y familiares que reciben servicios. Yo he estado yendo a IEPs desde los de 9, 10 años, ayudándole a mi mamá a traducir. Entonces, nosotros ayudaríamos con el plan, ayudaríamos a escribirlo y ayudaríamos a encontrar qué es lo que le gusta a Manuel o a Juan, a quien sea, y qué es la necesidad, porque todo está basado con necesidad. La necesidad no cambia solo porque es autodeterminación. Entonces nosotros trabajaríamos con ustedes, con los padres, especialmente con el cliente, iríamos con el centro regional y pues advocaría yo para que reciban los servicios que necesitan. A veces pedimos cosas que no necesitamos, pero necesitamos OT, speech therapy. Esas son cosas que yo puedo ayudar yendo a la escuela, yendo a IEPs. Pero haríamos un plan centrado y enfocado en la persona que tiene la necesidad. También soy un facilitador independiente, donde yo iría a todas las juntas que ustedes quieran, ustedes me dirían qué es lo que quieren que yo haga. En otras palabras, sería un coordinador. Así como VMRC tiene service coordinators, yo haría lo mismo. Tengo mis papeles, mis planes, y les daría una copia a ustedes y mediríamos todas las metas. Yo hablaría con los comportamientos, por ejemplo, si tenemos un behaviors y no está haciendo el trabajo que tiene que hacer, ahí es donde yo diría, ¿sabes qué? El muchacho ha estado trabajando en este plan un año y nada está pasando, no está avanzando, tenemos que hacer otra cosa. Y así es como ayudaríamos. Mi esposa es maestra, yo tengo la experiencia de trabajar por el centro regional y también ella, y así es como podemos ayudar y asistir. Cualquier pregunta que tengan, ya saben, me pueden llamar. Yo estoy abierto todo el día, no tengo nomás un día o 2 días, me pueden llamar de lunes a domingo. Esto es mi corazón, esto es lo que yo hago, esto es mi pasión, y todavía sigo ayudando a familias, aunque no estén en el programa, así que tienen preguntas, ya saben, nomás me llaman y ya estuvo. Any questions or concerns? Okay, thank you.
Elizabeth, I'm turning it over to you now.
Elizabeth, this is Liz. I have my phone up and the Spanish line is open. If you can still speak both in English and Spanish, they would like to hear directly from the providers and they're listening through my phone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. But the presentation's not coming up yet.
Hi, there it is. Thank you so much. My name is Fernando Gomez, and here with Elizabeth Gomez, we wanted to both present to you the self-determination, what we call experience. And so I'll be sharing with you in English, and then Elizabeth will have the opportunity to do it in Spanish. And Liz or Angelique, if you can just give us a nod, because I know we have a lot of information, so we don't want to go beyond the time allocated for our presentation. So we'll be looking to you to give us a little heads up, please. So first, I want to start by thanking Angelique, Liz, the staff who are able to put this very important series together. Tony Anderson for being a forward thinker at Valley Mountain Regional Center and giving us an opportunity to share today. Like as I said, my name is Fernando Gomez. I'm a co-founder of the Integrated Community Collaborative. It's a non-for-profit organization, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But we also want to mention the fact that when it comes to experience, we sit around the desk of the Self-Determined Advisory Committee, which is chaired by the author of the Self-Determination program. In addition to that, we've also been involved and currently involved at the state level with the Department of Developmental Services, the Disparity Task Force, in addition to the DS Task Force. And we say all this because it's extremely important. This is the first time in the 53-year history of the Latterman Act that something of this magnitude, something as significant as self-determination is implemented. So this is going to really be a game changer. So we want to make sure that the accurate information is available, that it's understandable, relatable, and most importantly, that's implementable. Lastly, I think through our vast experience in different levels, the most important and relevant experience is the fact that we're parents. We have a 13-year-old with Down syndrome who just completely changed our lives. But everything that we do doesn't come back from our experience or our degrees and so forth. In business, it comes as our experience as parents, firsthand in understanding the community. So with that, I would like to switch it over to Elizabeth, and then we'll go on with our presentation. Thank you.
Buenos días y muchas gracias. Esta no será una traducción literal, pero será la misma presentación del mismo corazón que estamos hablando. So, el que acaba de hablar ahorita es Fernando Gómez, el cual es mi esposo, y yo soy Elizabeth Gómez, cofundadora de la Comunidad Colaborativa Integrada. Esta mañana quiero dar las gracias a todas las personas que han puesto este seminario de información, especialmente a Tony Anderson por su pensamiento tan directo hacia el futuro. También queremos dar las gracias a todas las personas que han trabajado tan fuerte para poner esto, porque esto es muy importante, obtener información. So, nosotros estamos aquí representando esta organización. Somos una organización de padres, la cual vamos a cubrir en un momento. Sin embargo, también queremos decirles que nuestra experiencia viene de experiencia vivida, viene de tener un hijo con necesidades especiales, tiene síndrome Down, tiene 13 años. Hemos estado muy envueltos en todos los comités. Yo tengo desde el 2013 sentada en el comité de asesoría del comité de mi centro regional, Westside Regional Center, en el cual también se sienta y maneja la cofundadora de esta nueva ley, de esta nueva oportunidad que se nos da ahora a los padres, la señora Judy Mark, y también los que también forjaron esta ley, que es Connie Lapen y su esposo, Harvey Lapen. So, quiero darles las gracias también por darnos la oportunidad este día. Vamos a comenzar, pero queríamos comenzar con esta introducción.
Perfecto. Okay, and how do we switch to a slide here? To the next slide?
Que te da el choice aquí.
Okay,
Mouse,
next.
okay.
Okay. So in talking about person-centered plans, we want to take a step back and look at the big picture, because it's not just about a plan, it's about an experience. This is something new. Everybody's learning about the nuances. Everybody's learning about how we implement a plan of this magnitude. So what we're looking at is not just walking hand in hand with you in creating this plan, but it's also about the implementation of the plan and making sure that the plan is working. You know, we so many times get directions, get information, and that's all fine and dandy, but if we can't take that information and those directions and to make it into a tangible, then we're just kind of spinning our wheels. So what we do as an organization is we help you create the most comprehensive and compelling self-determination, person-centered plan, but we also help you in the implementation and execution of it. It's all centered on the person. So we want to make sure that it's a celebration of that diversity. You know, I tend to be a blue person. I know Elizabeth likes to be a red person, and we're all different, but together we make a really strong community. And that's the spirit of what we want to capture within these plans. So it's also important that within those plans that we also have the input of the circle of support, all of the stakeholders, and that can become very confusing, can become very overwhelming if it's not put together in the right context and through the right support system.
La autodeterminación es la experiencia, es en sí vivir este momento, crear este momento, y para nosotros es más que un plan, es mucho más que un plan, es crear ese plan y asegurarse que trabaja, es revisar ese plan constantemente y hacer los ajustes, porque todo en la vida va cambiando. Es completamente, tiene que ser centrado en la persona y asegurarnos que todos los elementos estén trabajando. Es también capturar la esencia de todo lo que significa alrededor de todas las personas y la familia. Es también tener un círculo de apoyo, el cual nosotros creemos muchísimo, es que en toda unidad y en cada plan personal centralizado tiene que haber un círculo de apoyo. Y yo sé que celebramos las diferencias, celebramos que, como dijo mi esposo, a él le gusta ser azul, dice que yo soy rojo, pero realmente que a mí también me gusta mucho el azul. Pero la verdad es de que todos tenemos diferencias y no somos personas que cabemos en moldes, sino que realmente somos toda una creatividad y todos somos diferentes y lo celebramos.
Okay, the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. And so in looking at all this information, and I appreciate everybody. Okay, we're trying to go into the next slide. Okay, thank you. So as you sit there and you're listening to all this information, I can already understand how overwhelming it is. We've been in the same position as parents. We never check out. We work 24/7. I know that in business, you have the luxury of going to work, then you get home, you close the door, and you leave all that behind. We don't. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a great thing, but I can say it's a challenging thing. So when we've been in our advocacy work in the last 15 years, both at the local and the state level, we realized that a lot of the information was misrepresentative of the community that we believe is the voice of the parent and the self-advocate. So we saw the need and the value of launching an organization, a statewide organization that was composed of parents and self-advocates that would bring a voice that was missing, that has been missing for many years within the regional center system, to help bring that equality, that equity. We focus a lot on disparities, on the barriers that cause disparities, but we also know that we have to take a step back and say, in order for the system to help us, we have to help the system do so. So that's where the Integrated Community Collaborative came through. It was the spirit of parents and self-advocates bringing that voice to the forefront and saying, let me help you help me. And as family members, we understand that there are many different challenges. There's many different ways to look at things, and that we're all diverse. So we have to meet people where they're at. And that starts the process. From there, we then continue through a journey together.
¿Cómo ayudamos? ¿Quiénes somos? Nosotros somos padres dándonos la mano, ayudando a otros padres. La comunidad integrada fue creada específicamente con esa necesidad en mente. Tenemos que ser la voz. Somos una unidad y somos una voz que que faltaba en el sistema, especialmente la voz de nuestros autogestores, que son el centro de todo esto. Nosotros llegamos a las familias exacto donde ellas están. Nos aseguramos que caminamos el camino y el proceso paso por paso con ellos. Somos familia, somos miembros de la familia y también comprendemos completamente las necesidades y las luchas que vivimos día a día. No es una perspectiva distinta para nosotros, es única y es una perspectiva por la cual hacemos todo esto. Ayudamos y damos el apoyo diverso y lo damos continuo. Ayudamos en este momento, pero nos mantenemos unidos por el resto del camino. Nosotros no tenemos la habilidad de desconectarnos. Nosotros trabajamos las 24 horas al día. Como padres de familia sabemos que nuestro trabajo no termina al final del día, sino que continúa y es constante. Nosotros, pues la verdad, todo lo hacemos con el corazón de las familias.
So as an organization, can you switch the slides? As an organization, we know that it's extremely important to kind of divvy up, if you will, the lifting. So we have some really important relationships and what we call partnerships that we collaborated with. Of course, Valley Mountain Regional Center is one of the key ones. For the last 3 years, we've been fortunate enough to be granted a grant through the Department of Developmental Services under Disparity Program. And that has been extremely important for us because it's given us the ability to go and look at things which is important from a state level, but then to come into the local level. So we're very blessed to have an amazing team led by Dora in the Stockton catchment area in the surrounding areas, and she has a team of what we call integradoras, which we'll mention what an integradora is in a minute. So I'm hoping that they're able to weigh in at the end of this these presentations because we're very blessed to have had these individuals who are also parents and self-advocates represent our efforts. As we have a relationship with Valley Mountain Regional Center through this collaborative grant through the department. We also do in North Los Angeles, and we also work with the Department of Developmental Services in other areas. For example, Disability Rights California and the State Council, and also a parent organization that we also co-founded called Disability Voices United. All these work together. We look at the messaging, and at the end of the day, look at when you get the end results, you're having information that's not only relevant to you on a local level, on a person-to-person level, but also coincides with what's happening on the state level.
Por los últimos 3 años nosotros hemos tenido la habilidad de poder estar trabajando con el Departamento de Desarrollo en las comunidades, llegando a las familias directamente, trabajando específicamente en las desigualdades, pero trabajamos en general en muchos otros puntos. Pero tenemos la fortuna de estar trabajando en conexión con diferentes organizaciones. Estamos hablando principalmente tenemos la responsabilidad del Centro del Valle de la Montaña. Tenemos otras organizaciones con las cuales también apoyamos, compartimos información y apoyamos. También queríamos mencionarles a ustedes en este momento que en el área el área específica de Stockton tenemos un grupo de integradoras, lo cual vamos a compartir en un momento, que son increíbles. Una de ellas, la manager en el área, se llama Dora Contreras y vamos a hablar un poquito más de ella. Ojalá que ellas puedan poner su información en el chat si se les permite, pero queremos saber que ese grupo es tan esencial también para ustedes porque todo esto es una colaboración.
So in taking all this, and you know, we probably spent more time than we needed to introducing who we are, but what we also want to talk about is how is it what we do? And I know where Elizabeth's trying to change the next slide over, and there. Okay, go into the thing. Okay. So what we wanted to share with you is what we've introduced is a protocol. It's a new discipline in where we engage into the communities so that it's a true engagement and an interactive engagement. And this is what we call the integradoras. Integradoras are individuals, they're all family members, and they're all self-advocates who go through an extensive training. And through their life experiences, through lived experiences and that training, we're able to walk hand in hand with you on not just the self-determination program, but identify the barriers, the nuances, and really the potholes that we would find as we journey together. So it's not just about coming in and saying, here's your information, good luck. It's about saying, let's go through this training. Let's identify your unmet needs, because what an unmet need today may evolve and change tomorrow. So we also have to kind of look at those changes as things evolve. What is your spending plan? How is the plan and who's going to execute on the plan? But we also have a continuous level of support through Zoom meetings, through interactions on one-on-one, and through seminars similar to this one, where we keep you informed and advised on what your options are.
Les dijimos en un momento que les íbamos a decir quiénes son las integradoras. Somos un modelo de padres que realmente está ayudando a transicionar el proceso entre la autodeterminación personal. Nosotros no solamente entrenamos a las familias, sino que también ahora estamos ayudando a crear los preplanes, estamos identificando las necesidades no llenadas en el sistema tradicional, estamos colaborando, estamos haciendo los planes de gastos, estamos teniendo conferencias vía Zoom en este momento, y aún los planes personales centralizados están siendo vía Zoom. Con todo el círculo de apoyo, estamos creando también el campo de trabajo. No solamente creamos los planes, sino que estamos creando trabajadores que se eleven en todas las áreas, porque ese es el futuro de esta nueva ley. Continuamos participando como integradoras en el círculo de apoyo.
Absolutely. And as we continue on this journey, looking at all these resources that are available and looking at how is it that we can work together, we have to identify those steps of success. The first thing is that we can't be successful without the person, the focus of that individual who is all around that person-centered plan. That's the nucleus. That's where we start. And from there, we look out. So it's extremely important to be able to work together in that aspect. And, you know, it's really encouraging to see the level of interest, to see our other peers who are involved in this space and offering the services and so forth, because it's going to take an army to implement this whole new program. So to be successful, it's not just the ability to be able to put a person-centered plan together, but it's on that execution and being able to continue walking hand in hand and say, this is the route to take, and when we need to, we can do course corrects.
Los pasos al éxito realmente tienen mucho que ver con el éxito que le damos al plan personal centralizado, las familias, el apoyo, directamente el apoyo a las familias, colaborando con los centros regionales, trayendo información que esté al día de la autodeterminación. Apoyamos a las familias haciendo los planes, pero el plan no es solamente lo que se necesita poder implementarlo, darle vida y hacerle una realidad. Nosotros incluimos toda la participación de toda una comunidad para poder hacer esto una realidad. Y estoy hablando más rápido porque no quiero que se nos acabe el tiempo, pero los pasos al éxito no son 1, ni 2, ni 3, ni 4, son toda una elaboración para llegar al éxito.
Exactly, and we just have a few more slides, but in order, because this is a new program, the regional center is learning a lot of the dynamics on implementing the program. Even the state, from the department on to other stakeholders, we're all learning. But in order to be able to take this information and to learn from one another, we've done things like what we call the cyber cafecito. Every Thursday at 6 o'clock, and everyone's invited, and we'll get the information out. You're invited to join us in a really relaxed atmosphere of communication, of interaction on what are your concerns? What questions do you have that haven't been answered? You know, what input do you want to do that should be taken at the state, the local levels, and so forth? So these cyber cafecitos are designed to be able to give you that platform and that opportunity.
So, mantener la información y la comunicación al día es esencial en este momento porque no hay un profesional ahorita que pueda mantener esta cantidad de información porque esto es todo nuevo, esta ley es nueva, todo es nuevo y está cambiando día a día. Aún el Departamento de Desarrollo está implementando información día a día. Los centros regionales están aprendiendo, todo el mundo está aprendiendo. So, aquí lo esencial es mantener la información. Pues todos están bienvenidos. Nosotros tenemos esos cafecitos informales, les llamamos el Cyber Cafecito, el cual tenemos todos los jueves a las 6 de la tarde para seguir diseminando esta información, pero también averiguar de la comunidad cuál es la barrera, qué es lo que la está parando, qué es lo que le está haciendo, qué es lo que le está bloqueando y cómo poder continuar a sobrepasar esas barreras.
And you know, as a parent of a special needs child, as a dad, I have what they call the 20% rule. I call it the 20% rule. So anytime I'm talking with you and anytime I'm looking at so forth, in general, I'm retaining 20% of what's discussed, the most important thing that I need at that moment in order to take the next step forward. So that, based on that 20% rule, what we've done is we've created all of our collateral materials, all of our materials and information that we disseminate in a cultural diverse way that's easy to understand, that's relatable. It's bilingual, and at the same time, it's not just about handing you the information, but sharing with you the information and walking with you on how that information is implemented.
No queremos tomar mucho tiempo en esto. Estos son los materiales que estamos implementando. La cuestión es de que los materiales tienen que ser bilingües y tienen que poder darse no solo información y materiales, sino que realmente qué es lo que estamos haciendo para implementar esos materiales. So, lo que van a ver a continuación solamente son materiales y nada más para dejarles saber en dónde está el plan y qué es lo que estamos haciendo.
So we have a robust library, if you will, of all the information that's already, for example, our pre-planning sessions. Similar, you can see some of the layouts here.
En estos preplanes y estas sesiones, lo interesante aquí es que también lo hemos hecho en las dos formas. Nuestras comunidades a veces requieren el sistema anterior, lo cual es los preplanes a veces a mano, pero también lo tenemos digital. So, lo que queríamos mostrarles aquí es la preparación de para dónde vamos con todo esto.
In order to facilitate the process, we've done the hard work. We've done our research. We brought the experts in to help us understand, for example, just understanding codes, the service codes is really just challenges in itself. The wages, the service costs, the different categories. We've done all that hard work so that when we deliver something to you, it's easy to understand and implement.
So, en hacer este trabajo, este en sí es uno de las cosas más con necesidad de darle mucho énfasis porque los códigos y los servicios y todo lo que las descripciones de los trabajos es aquí donde está realmente cómo implementar esos planes. Nosotros hemos hecho bastante trabajo. Este trabajo no es hecho únicamente nosotros, sino que es un trabajo en equipo. Lo llegamos con todos pero es de gran ayuda y damos gracias también a BMRC que también tienen un proceso muy bueno.
So as we wrap up our presentation, we again thank you for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves. But we ask that as you decide how to continue this journey, that you consider working with us to engage in us. And from there, you're not only going to get a comprehensive and relevant presentation plan, but you're going to get all of the support and you're going to get an individual to walk with you hand in hand through the whole process.
Lo que va a recibir usted de nosotros no solamente va a ser un plan, sino que de mano a mano trabajar con todo este proceso. No queremos tomar mucho más tiempo, queremos decirles que nosotros vamos a estar disponibles para cualquier tipo de información. Nosotros estamos aquí para ayudar. Sabemos que es toda una colaboración y le damos gracias a todos los demás que vienen todos juntos a presentar este día porque se va a necesitar todo un village para cambiar para implementar esta nueva ley. Muchísimas gracias a todos.
Thank you. God bless and good luck.
All right. Do I have control here? Thank you to Fernando. Good to see you online there, sir. Someone I've had the opportunity to work with in a variety of settings. I'm Will Sanford. I apologize, Liz. I'm going to require your services. I did not plan for my bilingual parent to be here to help support this. So if you could do the Spanish for me, that would be awesome.
Yes, so thank you, Will. I'm actually doing the Spanish on the Spanish line. Tanya, could you translate on the computer because it's being recorded, and I would like anyone who's Spanish speaking who did not come to also be able to log on and hear the information. So I'll be on my phone, and if Tanya, you can do it through the Zoom screen, that'll be, thank you.
All right. So,
Well, so typically I would do like verbatim, but it's kind of tricky, you know, in this setting.
Right.
So you could just do a few sentences and then pause, and if I need to remind you, I'll just, you know, give you
I'll do it by bullets if that works for you.
let me see. Yes, however, I am on my phone, so it's very small. The bullets are very small to
Gotcha.
see, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
All right, and I'll try and make up a little time for everybody too.
Okay.
So hi, I'm Will Sanford. I am a person-centered planner, and you know, as Fernando and the Hernandez has talked about, it's all about the person and how to build their lives.
Yo soy Will Sanford. Soy un planeo los planes personalizados a la persona, ¿verdad? Igual como Fernando mencionó, y hoy va a hablar de sus servicios.
I have over 40 years of supporting individuals with a wide range of disabilities, primarily developmental disabilities, to live full and included lives.
De experiencia trabajando con personas que tienen alguna necesidad especial, alguna discapacidad.
I have a really deep understanding of the traditional system that are provided through the regional center today.
Tengo un entendimiento muy extensivo, ¿verdad? De los servicios, pues les decimos los servicios tradicionales de los centros regionales.
I've been an active supporter at the state level in bringing the implementation of self-determination to the community.
Yo he sido muy activo en el nivel estatal en trayendo la autodeterminación a los centros regionales.
And ultimately, I'm a firm believer that self-determination can make a difference in people's lives and the community we live in.
Sí, yo creo que realmente la autodeterminación puede ser muy efectivo y un cambio en las vidas de la persona y en la comunidad.
I am vendored by the Valley Mountain Regional Center, so there's no cost to the participants for my services.
Soy un vendor del Centro Regional del Valle de la Montaña, so no hay ningún cobro a los participantes.
So the services I provide are,
Los servicios que yo proveo son
so the development of the individual person-centered plan,
el desarrollo del plan centrado en persona individual,
support through understanding the traditional service budget certification process,
apoyo en el entendimiento del proceso del presupuesto y cómo se desarrolla el presupuesto.
and finally support the development of the self-determination spending plan so that the self-determination program can be implemented.
Y finalmente tengo entendimiento y proveo apoyo en el desarrollo del plan de gastos para que el plan se pueda ser implementado.
I do have the ability to support individuals both in English and Spanish, although I do not speak Spanish.
Tengo la habilidad de proveer apoyo a los participantes en inglés y en español, aunque yo no hablo español, pero creo que tiene un compañero o compañera que sí habla español.
The overall goal is to ensure that self-determination is truly understood and able to be implemented by the person who's receiving that support.
Sí, la meta es que la autodeterminación y la persona que esté recibiendo este programa realmente tenga un entendimiento del proceso.
Currently, I've completed over 14 person-centered plans with an additional 6 in process, 4 of which are in Spanish.
Actualmente yo he desarrollado 14 planes centrados en la persona, 6 están en proceso. And what was the additional at the end?
4 of which have been done in Spanish.
Oh, ¿y cuáles 4 se han desarrollado en español?
So this is my contact information, and my favorite picture of myself was done by an individual with a developmental disability, and it's my favorite avatar.
Y este es información de contacto si gustan comunicarse. Y igual aquí ven una foto, un dibujo, ¿verdad? De mis favoritos que fue dibujado por creo que uno de los participantes.
And I'm good, Angelique.
Y ya yo he terminado.
Okay, we are going to move on to our next section. Although I do have a couple of questions that I'd like to address really quick. In regards to the local advisory committee, we're going to be getting to that information at the very end. So we will address.
Am I translating this also?
Yes.
Or, yes. Ok, so entonces vamos a seguir a la siguiente parte, ¿verdad? Y dice Angie, tengo aquí unas preguntas, algunas respuestas. And can you rewind to what was the point about the local advisory committee?
We will be addressing that at the end.
Ok, al fin sí es cuando vamos a repasar las preguntas y respuestas acerca del comité.
But one question that did come up is, will VMRC allow individuals to assist in advocacy and program management for parents to help look for services and to negotiate rates? And that is the exact role of the independent facilitator. So go ahead, Tanya.
Okay, hold on, slow that question down again. Start it from the beginning, I'm sorry.
Will VMRC allow us to assist in advocacy and program management?
Who's us, the participant?
Yes.
Ok, si el centro regional va, por decir, dejar que el participante tenga, sorry, alguien me estaba llamando, estoy en mi teléfono, tenga parte en abogar, ¿verdad? Por servicios en abogar por ellos mismos.
To arrange for services and negotiate cost.
Para planear o negociar por cobros y servicios.
And the answer to that is yes, that is the
La respuesta es sí.
Facilitator.
Sí, y eso también cae en el facilitador independiente, apoyar en eso, ¿verdad? Si es que tienen uno.
Okay, so now we are going to move on to introduce the local financial management service agencies that we have in this.
Okay, vamos a seguir con las agencias financieras que dicen el FMS, y vamos a seguir con presentaciones de esas agencias.
And you will also hear us refer to them as FMS.
Y claro, van a escuchar que cuando hablamos de estas agencias, les llamamos las agencias FMS.
And we'll move on to our first one, who will be Tran from Aviana Healthcare Services.
Vamos a empezar con Tran, que ella representa a la agencia Aviana Healthcare Services.
She's on mute.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
¿Me escuchan?
You're good to go,
Can
Tran.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I am with Aviana Healthcare, formerly known as Premier Healthcare Services.
Gracias por tenerme
I-
aquí hoy. Estoy aquí representando a Aviana Healthcare Services. Anteriormente se llamaban Premier.
I am the Self-Determination Operations Manager. I run the Self-Determination Program for Premier, also known as Aviana.
Soy la manejadora supervisora del programa de autodeterminación con la agencia de Aviana.
Our company currently works with 21 regional centers statewide with a bill payer and co-employer model.
Nuestra agencia actualmente trabaja con 21 centros regionales con los modelos de co-empleador y bill payer. Ay, disculpe, no sé cómo decirles, los que pagan los cobros de las agencias mensuales.
Angie, can you please give me access to share my screen? I'm going to share a few things with everyone.
Angie, por favor, ¿me das acceso a compartir algunas cosas? Tengo unas cosas que compartir.
Not giving me the option to share my screen.
Tran, I think you have to be a co-host and have the screen share option.
I should be able to share my screen without being the co-host. Perfect. Thanks, Angie. So I have up is our Aviana Support Services website where everyone can go in, get information regarding our self-determination program, what we do, who we are, what we are about.
Aquí pueden ver nuestro sitio de internet, que aquí pueden tener acceso a apoyo. Tienen información, aquí ven información de nuestra agencia, de lo que somos, ¿verdad? En qué servicio podemos ayudar.
So from the homepage, you have the About Us option, services that we provide, our resources. And if you click on Learn More with the Self-Determination Program, it will go to our FMS page.
Aquí
where it explains
sí, aquí estoy
the
navegando.
services we provide under FMS.
Aquí estoy navegando nuestro sitio de internet. Si puede ver aquí. Aquí le enseña Tran en donde puede ver la información de FMS y de los servicios que ellos proveen.
Under this page, you can also request for information, get referrals through our services for the self-determination program.
Igual en esta página, ahí puede ver en donde puede referirse para este programa. I'm sorry.
We also currently offer electronic time card system for our service providers, ways to email us invoices for vendors, agencies, or entities that you'll be working with.
Igual aquí
if you click on
en el sitio pueden
our Aviana Care System.
Sí, en el sitio aquí pueden encontrar igual en donde tienen acceso a los time cards, acceso a ver los pagos, acceso a todo eso por medio de su sitio.
It'll give you the option to go ahead and request for your login information, sign in link, give you ways our system works, videos to show you how to use the system, what is in there, and guides on how to get access.
Videos en cómo usar el sistema, tiene guías, igual información a su programa.
I also often email out to our regional centers, vendors, families, our brochure of what we do, what we offer. We do one-on-one consultations, spending plan consultation, FMS consultations.
También
We offer
consultas y
services with our bilingual staff in English, Vietnamese, and Spanish.
También ofrecemos consultas en varios idiomas, vietnamese, en inglés y en español.
We also develop helpful checklists, FAQs, spending plan tools, burden calculators for our families, regional centers to utilize to assist with the process from start to finish. So our checklist from when you attend the orientation to all the way down to when services can begin.
Entonces también ayudamos con el proceso de desarrollar desde el principio al fin, ¿verdad? Cada punto que es necesario en el proceso.
We also have our FAQs, frequently asked questions. We found that the past year during the pilot program, these are the most frequently asked questions that we ran into. So we want to make sure that the regional centers or families we speak with for consultation will have this on hand. That will eliminate a lot of time when we have a one-on-one consultation, so that it will help our families get to the more important questions of how they're going to get started, what they need, and things like that.
Tenemos una lista también que le decimos las preguntas que son hechas más frecuente, ¿verdad? So, en esta lista de estas preguntas, dice Tran, estas son las preguntas que hemos visto que se han hecho más frecuentes de nuestras familias. También está en su sitio de internet. Tienen acceso a estas preguntas para que vean qué son las respuestas. Y dice Tran que esto elimina también mucho tiempo inicialmente con las familias. Si repasan esas preguntas, tal vez se pueden contestar en ese momento, ¿verdad?
And one spending plan tool we constantly are developing, changing, helps the family use this tool to start creating their spending plan. It already comes with formulas in there where if you were to utilize our services, you'll see kind of punched everything in and it will start to auto-calculate for you so that you can see where your budget is at, what goes into these fees, and what gets calculated. I included some examples in this tool to help families get started. And then we also recommend contacting us for a spending plan consultation once you have something like this built out so that we can make sure that the fees are added in properly, the calculations match up so that you can get the best service possible for you and your family.
So, también dice que tienen una herramienta que se puede usar, que ellos le llaman la herramienta del plan de gastos, ¿verdad? Y que esta herramienta es disponible en nuestras familias. La herramienta viene con calculaciones. La herramienta puede calcular para usted, por ejemplo, cuánto se gastaría en cierta cosa. Dice que tiene en la herramienta también ejemplos, ¿verdad? De plan de gastos y que lo pueden contactar a ellas para una consulta, ¿verdad? De los plan de gastos y para repasar qué serían los cobros. So, go ahead.
And this is our contact information for our 3 offices. Please feel free to contact me at any time. via phone or email. Our email address is sjsdp@aviana.com.
So, luego también aquí provee en el sitio, ella está también proveyendo su información de contacto. Dice que igual en el sitio enseña las diferentes oficinas que tienen. Si les gustaría comunicarse con ella con cualquier pregunta, por favor háganlo.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thank you, Tran.
Sorry, I got
Back to you, Angie.
I got kicked out there for a second. I couldn't do anything. Next, we are going to have Yvette speak from Acumen. Oh no, I did not mean to do that.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Angie, do you have my slides?
Yes, that's what I
No
need.
worries.
Screen share. That's why.
Luego seguimos con Yvette.
I can translate as well if you like.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. Hi, good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? ¿Me pueden escuchar? Sí? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Yvette Torres. I work for Acumen Fiscal Agent, another financial management service for the self-determination program. Hola, buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Yvette Torres. Trabajo para la compañía Acumen, que también es una agencia de administración financiera para el programa de autodeterminación. Let me see. There. I don't think I have access to the screen.
You're controlling it?
Let's see. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Okay. Disculpen, no tenía acceso a la computadora. Okay, so I'm going to go briefly over of what Acumen offers, but as you are already familiar with, financial management service is the only required vendor in the self-determination program. Como ustedes saben, Administración Financiera o FMS es el único agencia que se tiene que tener contrato con el centro regional. Some of the responsibilities of the financial management service are to ensure the participant's budget is managed. We also process payroll for employees, and we pay the participant service providers. We also ensure that the participant doesn't go over budget and has enough funds to, let me see the screen. I'm sorry, I cannot see the screen. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to start over. So ensuring the participant doesn't go over budget and has enough funds to pay for services listed in their IPP, preparing and distributing monthly statements, similar to a bank statement, just like what you get at the end of the month for your bank. The statement shows what you've used, the balance, what's left. As an FMS, we also withhold tax for your employees, and we provide a W-2 and a 1099 at the end of the year, so they can use for tax purposes. La administración financiera es responsable de manejar el presupuesto de los participantes en el programa de autodeterminación. También procesamos pagos para sus empleados, para negocios que le ofrecen servicios. También nos aseguramos de que haya suficientes fondos en su cuenta para poder pagar de su plan de gastos. También preparamos un formulario al final de cada mes que le enviamos a usted para que usted mire cuánto gastó, cuánto le hace falta, para que usted siga también los pasos de lo que usted ha utilizado en su plan de gastos. También como administración financiera somos responsables de retener impuestos de sus empleados, de su cheque. Y también enviamos formas W2 y formas 1099 a negocios para que ellos hagan sus impuestos al final del año. Okay. So as you already know, there are 3 models in self-determination. Acumen only offers 2 of those 3 models, which is the bill payer model and the sole employer model. We've been providing financial management services to self-directed participants and employers all over the country since 1995. We specialize in FMS. That is all that we do. Como ustedes saben, en el programa de autodeterminación hay 3 modelos de administración financiera. De esos 3 modelos, Acumen ofrece 2, que es el de bill payer o paga facturas y el de sole employer, que es empleado único. Nuestra compañía ha ofrecido estos servicios de administración financiera desde 1995 por toda la nación. Es todo lo que hacemos, administración financiera. Nos especializamos en eso. Okay, so this is an example of the bill payer model. It is important to keep in mind that under the bill payer model, there is no employer-employee relationship. What this means is that that is what the FMS will do. We will pay the bills for agencies, for businesses, make purchases that are listed in the spending plan and IPP on your behalf. I have a little graph right here as an example. So an example that I utilize, and it's something that's common, during the summer. Unfortunately, right now with, the times we're living, there is not a lot of access. But one of the examples that I use is going to summer camp. The participant would like to go to summer camp. So this summer camp is listed in the IPP. It's listed in the spending plan. It's been approved as a service. So once that is approved, the camp or the family will submit an invoice to the FMS and we will pay for that on your behalf. We can make a payment to the school or we can send them a check. It's their option, their preference. El modelo de bill payer o paga factura es todo lo que es. Pagamos facturas para negocios que usted va a utilizar, hacemos compras a su nombre. Lo que esto significa es que usted no va a contratar personal. El personal que usted va a utilizar, lo más seguro, trabaja para una agencia que ya existe. Y lo que nosotros hacemos es simplemente pagar facturas o cosas que estén en su plan de gastos. Lo que esto significa es un ejemplo que utilicé aquí en este modelo, es que su hijo o su hija o usted va a ir a un campamento de verano. El campamento de verano nos envía a nosotros una factura al FMS y nosotros hacemos el pago a su nombre de usted. Le podemos enviar un cheque a la compañía o le podemos depositar los fondos o pagarlo por internet. Es la opción de la compañía y es lo que esto significa, el bill payer model o paga facturas. Es el modelo que se ofrece también en Acumen. Okay. El siguiente modelo es el modelo de el sole employer. I started with Spanish now. I apologize for that. Okay, sorry. I'm going to start with English. So the sole employer model is another model that we offer. It's not a very there's a few misconceptions regarding this model, and I'd like to clarify them. I know that I've been asked in the past by some participants and by some families as well. They are under the impression that with this model, they are responsible for absolutely everything, and that is not the case. Under the sole employer model, the participant or an authorized representative is the employer of record, meaning that they hire the FMS, in this case Acumen, to help process payroll for their employees, withhold taxes, make payments on your behalf as well. We do hire the employees on your behalf. Keep in mind that if you are wanting to utilize, let's say, a sister, a brother, a cousin to render a service or to help you, the participant or the family, they submit the paperwork to Acumen to us, and we process that. We process their W-2 to withhold taxes and ensure that the W-2 is accurate at the end of the year. We also run the background. The SDP requires that anyone who is providing direct personal care goes through a background check, and that needs to be cleared before the person starts working. So we assist with that. We also process payroll for your employees. We make payments to the service providers, agencies, make purchases on your behalf. So with the sole employer model, it's a combination of both the bill payer and you also get to be the employer. Right here, as you can see, there's a chart. It's almost, so what this means is the participant or the authorized representative, again, is the employer. They hire the FMS, someone like Acumen, to hire and pay their employees, and we do that on your behalf. We pay for service providers on your behalf as well, and we pay bills and invoices and make purchases on your behalf because this program doesn't allow for reimbursement. All the payments do need to be made directly to either the agency or the employees, or we make the purchases and we do everything on your behalf. You do let us know about that. Ok, ahora con el modelo de empleador único, lo que eso significa es que usted como participante o familiar, él es el empleador. Usted contrata a alguien como Acumen o una administración financiera para que contrate a sus empleados. Nos aseguramos de que sus empleados sean pagados, retenemos impuestos, también le pagamos agencias que usted va a utilizar para proveer servicios, también hacemos compras a su nombre de usted, digamos que va a comprar un piano. El piano está en el plan de gastos, ya fue aprobada esta compra, usted nos envía a nosotros, a la compañía, un formulario donde dice qué es lo que le vamos a comprar, lo compramos a su nombre, pero usted es el empleador. Usted contrata a una agencia como nosotros, como Acumen, para que hagamos esas compras, esos pagos a nombre de usted. También nos aseguramos de que los antecedentes penales sean aclarados por parte de DDS. Cualquier persona que va a proveer un servicio directo, digamos que le va a ayudar con la higiene, a cambiarse, a bañarse, tiene que pasar por una prueba de antecedentes penales, sea familiar o no, y tiene que ser aprobado por DDS para poder ser contratado. Este es una modelo que Acumen ofrece, el de sole employer o empleador único. Okay, let's see. Okay, right here, I have a list of other services in which we will assist our clients under our sole employer model. As a sole employer, it is required that you have an employer identification number. If that is something that you don't have, we will obtain that on your behalf. We also offer workers' compensation by charging separately at a very low rate. We can go over that. I'll have my number at the end of this presentation so that you can call me and we can go over this as well. As I mentioned earlier, we also provide W-2 forms for your employees at the end of the years, as well as 1099s for service providers, vendors, again, on your behalf. We have this right here. It's a portal, an application that's complementary to our clients and to the employees. So your employees can clock in and clock out in real time while you approve. You're also able to view the monthly statement that I mentioned earlier in real time without necessarily waiting for the monthly budget. All of that will be sent to you as well. So it's pretty cool because you can keep track of that. If there's ever any questions, you can bring it to our attention. Let me see. And as I mentioned, the monthly budget statements that we send at the end of the month as well to you and your service coordinators. Otros servicios con los que nosotros ayudamos a los participantes que utilicen nuestro modelo de empleador único es que vamos a proveer compensación al trabajador, cobrando un poquito por separado, un poquito por este servicio. Si gustan, voy a dejar mi información al final de la presentación para que ustedes se comuniquen conmigo y podemos hablar un poquito más de lo que eso significa. También, como empleador, usted necesita un número de identificación al empleador que nosotros le vamos a ayudar a obtener y se lo vamos a proveer. También, como mencioné hace rato, le ayudamos enviando formas W2 o 1099, W2 para sus empleados para retener impuestos, 1099 para que también las agencias que están proveyendo servicio también declaren impuestos. Otra cosa que también ofrecemos es una aplicación que se llama GCI Software. Es una aplicación donde sus empleados la bajan a su teléfono celular y entran sus horas y ponchan y usted las aprueba y se elimina el ticket de tiempo. También, como mencioné anteriormente, también proveemos una forma donde tiene, similar a la que le envía su cuenta de banco, donde detalla lo que usted gastó, los fondos pendientes, y le ofrecemos esto al final del mes. Okay. Benefits of being a sole employer. You're the boss, you're the employer. There's also more control on who you choose to hire. What I mean by this is that, again, as the employer, we, the FMS, or we Acumen, we abide by what DDS and SDP go as far as hiring protocols. So you do have a little more control on who you choose to hire. So as long as your employees are compliant. Another thing is live-in exemptions for employees who live with you. Lower monthly FMS rates that we will go over in a bit. And as I mentioned earlier as well, the FMS works for you. You're hiring us to provide a service. So again, you're the boss. Algunos beneficios de ser el empleador único es de que usted es el jefe y también tiene un poco más de control en quién usted decide contratar. Nosotros nos basamos en los requisitos del DDS y el programa de autodeterminación para contratar a alguien a nombre de usted, pero tiene un poquito más de control y más wiggle room para contratar a alguien. Y también hay algunos beneficios para las personas que viven con usted. Si trabajan con usted, también los pagos del FMS son un poquito más bajos que los otros precios. Y nuevamente, como recordatorio, el FMS o administración financiera trabaja para usted. Usted es nuestro jefe también. Okay. And these are the fees that I mentioned earlier. I know that a lot of you are familiar with this, with the orientations and all the meetings that we attend for self-determination. So right here I have an arrow of the models that Acumen offers, the FMS as a bill payer and the participant as a sole employer model. You can see $150 is the max. Como pueden ver, estos son los precios de la administración financiera, que imagino que ya muchos de ustedes conocen esta tabla de precios. Puse aquí una flecha para enseñar cuáles son los servicios que Acumen ofrece, que es el de bill payer o paga facturas, y participante como empleador único, y el precio máximo, como puede ver, es $150 por 5 servicios o más. Okay. And this is my information. And I love how it says, keep calm porque yo sí hablo español. Very, very, I thought it was hilarious. Como pueden ver, aquí está mi información. Si gustan contactarse conmigo, es mi información, mi correo electrónico, mi número directo. Como pueden ver, aquí se me hizo chistoso esto porque dice keep calm porque yo sí hablo español. Lo puse como chiste, pero en realidad sí fue un poquito chistoso. Y aquí también pueden ver el enlace de nuestra compañía, que es Acumen Fiscal Agent. Si gustan más información, pueden ver ahí nuestra compañía o se pueden comunicar directamente conmigo también con cualquier pregunta y con gusto los ayudo. That is all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvette. Now let me get going to our next presenters.
Gracias, Yvette. Seguimos con la siguiente presentación.
Where are you? Where are you? They accidentally got put in the wrong category here, so I'm moving them up so that over to the presenters so that they can present. And of course, now it's not going to let me do that. I don't want to chat. I'm really sorry for the technical issues here.
Disculpe por las dificultades técnicas.
Yes. Well, okay, let me try this way. it's not letting me let them chat. Why don't we do this? While I work on that, let's move forward to our next presenter. And
Mientras que yo arreglo algunas
this.
cosas técnicas, vamos a seguir con otra presentación.
Angie, I'm not sure I'm going to be easier. I'll try to share my screen, which I cannot do.
Estamos tratando
But I did
poder
send you
compartir la pantalla.
my PowerPoint through email like 15 minutes ago.
Yes. And it's not on this computer.
Ah.
I know why I'm having issue. This is why I'm having issue. I'm having issue because I'm in screen share. No, it won't let me change them. It's only letting me chat with them. What I'm going to do with you, Mark.
That's because Tran is still the host.
Thank you. So Tran, can you go in, please? Because I can't, I've lost my controls. Can you please give host back to me?
Sí, están tratando de darle control al señor Mark de la pantalla para que él pueda hacer su presentación. So, creo que el control lo tenía la señorita Tran. So, están tratando de...
It's okay, Tanya. You don't need to translate this. We're just trying to get it fixed.
Oh, I think somebody was asking in the chat, like, what was going on.
Oh.
So that's why.
Tran, are you there? Tran?
Angie, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you
It
remove?
doesn't look like I have the host access.
Right. Can you give that back to me, please?
I don't have the option to do it at all.
So I will say that college professor once told me if you can't present without a PowerPoint, get out of my classroom. So if I have to go PowerPointless, it's all good.
I think now I just got Tercel up. I do not have your PowerPoint on this computer, but it has been added to the PowerPoint that will be listed online. So if you can unmute yourself, Ms. Jones.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great, 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 great. Also, we do have a translator. We have our Spanish-speaking field service rep, who is Mabel Lopez, and I'm going to ask her to unmute herself because I'll speak in English and then she can translate in Spanish if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm on now. Buenos días, mi nombre es Mabel y soy parte de GT Independence y yo voy a estar presentando en español.
Okay, great, good afternoon. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen and just do a brief overview. It's so great to see Yvette on the call. We work together a lot. So I'll be respectful of everyone's time. Okay. GT Independence is a national FMS provider. We currently, we started in 2004 and we're in 11 states and we serve over 22,000 individuals, and FMS services, financial management services, is all that we do.
So, nosotros somos una compañía financiera que está en todo el país y tenemos 11 estados en que damos servicios y lo único que hacemos es proveer servicios financieros y tenemos más de 22,000 familias que ayudamos.
Currently, we provide person-centered enrollments. We also have a lot dedicated customer service team. For each regional center, you will have a customer service rep to assist you with all payments to your employees, as well as invoices that are submitted to GT Independence.
Nosotros tenemos un departamento de servicio al customer y lo que ellos hacen es darle atención a cada centro regional. Entonces, las familias que se inscriben con nosotros van a tener ese apoyo para poder hacer los pagos a las diferentes compañías o empleados que usted tenga.
GT also has an electronic employee payment availability, as well as an online portal where you can access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, your budget information, as well as hours that are remaining in your budget and any funds that have been spent to date.
So, también nosotros tenemos una habilidad que usted puede accesar sus gastos, lo que se ha pagado, el dinero que usted tiene que le sobra en su plan de gasto. Usted lo puede ver en el internet o también tiene la opción de ver esa información en un programa que se puede poner en su teléfono. Y eso es para que usted pueda ver lo que le sobra y estar teniendo control y tener el entendimiento de sus planes y qué se está pagando.
Not to reiterate some of the things that Yvette talked about, but the two models that we do offer as well is the sole employer model and the bill payer model.
So, nosotros ofrecemos dos modelos. Tenemos el modelo de único pago y también el modelo que se paga pagador a las facturas.
To go over and explain a little bit about GT Independence and our sole employer model, I wanted to discuss exactly the difference between the sole employer model and the co-employer model. One of the main things that I would say is the difference is who is the employer of record.
So, aquí pueden ver que vamos a explicar la diferencia entre el empleador único y el co-employer, los dos modelos, y una de las diferencias más grandes que usted puede ver es que en el empleador único, usted es el empleador que mantiene récord.
We have created a checklist for you to just really understand the difference. So one of the things that we talk about with the sole employer model is that you have full control and transparency of your budget dollars. You have the highest possible wages for your employees. You control the training requirements. We don't set that. You, as the employer of record, make the determination of the training and the qualification of your staff. You also have full employer authority to hire, manage, and fire your employees.
So, aquí usted puede ver una lista que explica exactamente las diferencias. Una de las diferencias en el modelo de empleador único es que usted tiene el control de a quién va a agarrar como su empleado, qué le va a pagar con tal de que esté en su plan de gasto y haya suficiente dinero, qué requisitos usted va a pedir que sus empleados tengan y los beneficios, si usted gusta darle, todo se puede poner y calcular en el plan de gasto.
You also have the option of selecting different benefits package for your employees to include PTO, health insurance, and 401k, as well as you have industry-specific continuing education, which is provided agencies free of charge. You can schedule your employees how you choose. And as I stated earlier, real-time budget reporting access. So you don't have to wait to a monthly report. If you just want to see what your hours look at or your remaining dollars, you can log into GT's dedicated online portal at any time. All invoices as well as timesheets are submitted electronically to our HR and our payroll department that issue Payment to your employees twice a month. We pay typically on the 10th and the 26th of the month, meaning that the payroll is between the 1st and the 15th. Timesheets are submitted, and the 16th and the end of the month, the 30th or the 31st. You also have the opportunity to purchase workers' comp. GT can assist with that if you so desire, but you also have the option of looking for workers' comp through different other resources. And one of the things that we found out is that you also may already have this coverage in your homeowner's policy or your renter's policy, or you actually can go to the California State Fund. We just believe in you being competitive to make sure you have actual dollars in your budget to be able to implement your self-determination person-centered plan as you see fit. The FMS is also responsible for filing your state and federal taxes, conducting employee background screenings as well.
So, otra cosa que nosotros tenemos es, le ofrecemos la habilidad de poder ver sus gastos, cómo están a tiempo. Entonces, si usted puede ir a nuestro sitio, ve qué dinero sobra. También todos los pagos se hacen electrónicamente. So, usted puede mandar su invoice o hacer aprobar las horas de sus empleados y se les manda al departamento que se encarga directamente de hacer esos pagos. En su plan de gasto, usted también tiene la opción de comprar seguro para sus empleados. Una cosa que nos hemos enterado es que si usted tiene seguro de casa o seguro de su apartamento, hay veces que ese ya está, es parte del seguro de su casa. Entonces, eso quiere decir que usted puede tener más dinero para usar para otras cosas, tal vez pagarle a sus empleados más, tal vez agarrar más servicios para tener o obtener lo más que el dinero se le puede ofrecer. También nosotros lo que vamos a hacer es hacer los impuestos para cualquier empleado que usted tenga y también nos encargamos de hacer background checks para todos sus empleados.
The one last thing I just want to highlight, under GT Independence, as a sole employer, you do have the authority to fire your employees. And so when contrary to what has been stated, that the sole employer is too hard, is difficult, sole employer to GT does not mean that you're all by yourself. It just means that you make the decision and we support you in those decisions to make sure all of the I's are dotted and all of the T's are crossed.
Okay. So, de último, lo que queremos también decirles es que yo sé que muchas veces han oído que el modelo del empleado único es más difícil, que toda la responsabilidad es del participante y eso puede darle miedo a cierta gente escoger ese plan, pero nosotros queremos decirle que aquí estamos para apoyarlos. Usted no tiene que hacer todo solo. Tenemos, como le dije, un departamento de Customer Service que está para ir a apoyarles. Yo también estoy aquí. Tenemos más gente que está aquí para ayudarles, para contestar preguntas y hacer esto algo que es fácil y algo que les va a ayudar y no va a ser algo que va a ser más problemas para ustedes. Entonces, nosotros les agradecemos su tiempo, les agradecemos la oportunidad de hablar con ustedes y yo creo que vamos a poner nuestros detalles en el chat, así usted puede visitar nuestro website y también puede comunicarnos con nosotros si tiene más preguntas.
And in closing, just wanted to state that we do have a dedicated website to California, and that website is www.gtindependence.com/CA. We do have all of our information regarding our services here in California. We encourage you to visit the website. As far as myself and Mabel and any of the other GT representative, we will put our contact information in the chat for you. Please feel free to reach out to us. And I also do want to take this time, I'm not sure if she's on the call or not, but we do have a director of state services. Her name is Valerie Bain. Please feel free to reach out to her as well.
Okay. Y de último, les agradecemos su tiempo. Vamos a poner los detalles en el chat. Tenemos un sitio de internet que usted puede visitar. Y como dije, también nuestro número de teléfono si usted gusta comunicarse con nosotros y así le podemos ayudar. Muchas gracias.
Okay. So we're going to move on to our next presenter of the FMS services, which is Mark.
Vamos a seguir con la siguiente presentación que va a ser por el señor Mark.
There we go.
Good. You can see the screen. All right, Tanya, you ready?
Ver la pantalla.
Go. And I am aware of the time, so I know I'm
Yo
on
estoy
borrowed time.
consciente de la hora. Yo estoy consciente del tiempo.
So I'll say this first.
Digo esto primero.
Liz had started by making a statement about if you choose to follow through on self-determination, and I know it's a journey.
Elizabeth empezó con un comentario de si deciden seguir con autodeterminación, sé que es por decir una aventura, ¿verdad?
And so my son, who's 14, had a heart transplant at 1.5, and
Mi hijo, que tiene 14 años, ahorita le hicieron, tuvo un trasplante del corazón cuando tenía 1 año y medio.
so for a few years, we had occupational therapists, physical therapists, speech and language therapists
So,
coming
por esos
into our home.
años tuvimos terapistas en nuestra casa, ¿verdad? Terapista ocupacional, terapista física, terapista de habla en nuestra casa.
And so we didn't have control like you all have with the self-determination program.
No
So
tuvimos
my piece
control
is
como lo tienen
keep
ustedes.
going.
Entonces yo digo, sigan adelante.
It is so important when you have multi-stressors to be able to have choice and control over your
Es
services.
muy importante cuando tienen varias estreses, poder tener ese control y opción de hacer las decisiones.
And so public partnerships or PPL
La
are
agencia Public Partnerships o PPL.
we are about, and Terracell said it, and Yvette said it, it can sound complicated, but we, just like Acumen, GT, Premier, we want to make it easy for you all. That is the #1 goal.
Como han presentado las otras agencias, sé que se escucha un poco complicado, ¿verdad? Pero yo vuelvo a decir que lo queremos hacer lo más fácil para ustedes.
So I put this in here because you are not alone. There are millions of people across the country that self-direct their own services. So it's been a long haul, long journey for you all, but it's a great model that's only getting more and more popular.
So sepan que no están solos, ¿verdad? Hay millones de personas en el país que han estado trabajando bajo este modelo. Y entonces sabemos que no es algo realmente nuevo, pero vamos a seguir adelante, ¿verdad?
So I don't want anyone to leave afraid that, well, what if SDP doesn't work out for the state of California? It will.
No
It
quiero
will.
que alguien se vaya por miedo, ¿verdad? Que piensen que si autodeterminación no trabaja para el estado de California. Les digo que sí va a trabajar.
And so we have, and I'll stop at each one, Tanya, five core goals.
So
The first one is
metas,
care. Oh,
¿verdad? La primera es, I'm sorry, go ahead with the first one.
yeah, so we care about who we serve. And by that, I mean, we want to be part of your circle of support. We want to be part of the team, if you will.
Sí, entonces, la primera es que sí realmente, sí tenemos la compasión, nos importa, ¿verdad? Sí queremos entender y ser parte del equipo, del círculo de apoyo.
Number 2 is just that team play. So you heard from some person-centered planners, independent facilitators. We want to know them. We want to know the regional center staff. again, we want to be part of a team because the team will make the participant, the individual, successful in the long term.
Otra cosa que valoramos también es ser parte del equipo, ¿verdad? Queremos conocer a los facilitadores independientes, queremos conocer al personal del centro regional, queremos conocer al círculo de apoyo y queremos ser parte del equipo para poder llegar a las metas.
Thank you. 3, we want everyone to speak up. So we've been meeting with regional center staff. We try to meet with some families to get an understanding of what you all need from the FMS. So we're always trying to get better, and we do that by listening to you all speak up.
So, la tercera cosa que valoramos también es de, pues decir, queremos abogar, queremos que las familias puedan ellos hablar por ellos mismos y escuchar. Siempre estamos escuchando, siempre estamos reuniéndonos con familias para saber qué buscan, siempre estamos reuniéndonos con personal del centro regional y que estamos escuchando para mejor servir a los participantes.
Looking after the pennies is about, again, Teracel made some great points, Yvette made some great points. You need to have access to your budget at all times. If you're going to control it, you need to be able to see it and see how many dollars are left and be able to move dollars across services if you want. So that is what we mean by looking after the pennies. We want you to really control your budget.
So, la cuarta cosa que valoran, y dice Ive y Teresa hicieron buenos puntos, ¿verdad? Y estamos conscientes del presupuesto, cuánto les queda, ¿verdad? Si necesitan cambiar algo, que tengan control del dinero, del presupuesto.
Thank you. So public partnerships also does the bill payer model, and you heard about it a good deal, and given that we're up against time, I'm going to leave that out there. I'll have my contact up at the end, but I think you've heard enough about bill payer, heard enough about the sole employer, so we do bill payer and sole employer.
So, y gracias a Yvette, I just want to say thank you to Yvette because I just learned the proper way to say bill payer in Spanish. So, igual como dije que aprendí unos nuevos términos de Yvette y su presentación. So, dice el señor Mark que igual ellos ofrecen los modelos de paga facturas, ¿verdad? Y empleador único. Y dice él, aquí dejo esa información, sé que lo hemos hablado, ya estoy consciente del tiempo, dice Mark.
Perfect. So again, Yvette, Teracel, Tran, they already went over a lot of the core functions that we do. But I've heard questions on Judy Mark's webinar series about the FMS pricing and what's behind the pricing and why the different prices.
Sí, dice que Teresa, Yvette y Tran ya han repasado con detalles el modelo de paga factura, ¿verdad? Y dice, yo vi en un webinar de Judy Mark que habían algunas preguntas acerca de los cobros, de los costos, ¿verdad? Go ahead.
So I'll say, when we look at these differences in prices and they're driven by the number of services authorized.
Yo voy a decir,
yeah, go ahead.
cuando vemos las diferencias en los cobros basado en cuántos servicios se usan, ¿verdad? Go ahead.
And so I would argue the reason for that is really three things. One, the more services generally means the more providers, generally means the more invoices.
La razón detrás de esto, yo diría, número uno, generalmente los más servicios, más proveedores, ¿verdad?
And then the FMS is always making those payments in advance. and then we build a regional center, and it's not their fault. It's not their
El
fault.
FMS
But we wait a month or 6 weeks before we get paid.
típicamente los pagos son en avance y luego esperan el pago del centro regional, es lo que él está diciendo.
So it really, to me, boils down to more services, more providers, more work, more money that we have to put out, and then wait up over a month to get back.
Sí,
And so
y son
that,
más
to me, is
servicios.
why you see the different price.
Sí, más servicios, más proveedores, más pagos que hacer y luego a veces nosotros tenemos que esperar hasta un mes para recibir ese pago. So, él dice esto para explicar por qué hay diferentes precios en cada modelo, ¿verdad?
And then I'm going to jump forward. So this is where you can find us at publicpartnerships.com.
Aquí nos pueden encontrar, publicpartnerships.com.
And the website is available in all those languages. So you would just select a language. Oops, sorry.
It's okay. El sitio de internet está disponible en todas estas idiomas. Puede seleccionar su idioma preferida.
And then you could just go to this SDP page. And again, if you select Spanish or Russian or Cantonese, it'll be translated for you, and hopefully the information's helpful.
Dice igual, después de que seleccione su idioma, hay un lugar en el sitio en cual es la página de SDP.
Perfect. And then you'll find me and my contact information. So I don't speak Spanish, but I have hundreds of coworkers that do. I'll bring them to the next webinar. But Tanya, you've been so good, maybe I won't. But that is how folks can contact me.
Ok, dice que aquí está mi información de contacto, ¿verdad? Si se quieren comunicar conmigo. Tengo muchos compañeros del trabajo que hablan español. Dice, tal vez para la otra presentación me traigo a alguien, pero sí, aquí está para contactar.
And that is all. Thank you, Tanya. That was great. Thank you all for making the time today.
Es
Appreciate
todo.
it.
Muchas gracias por su tiempo hoy.
Great. Thank you very much. We are almost to the very end. There's just a couple of last things that we want to make sure that we share with everybody. And first of all, we had a couple of questions, which comes out for our next slide.
Muchas gracias. Ya casi terminamos. Unas cositas para terminar. El comité, ¿verdad? Angie, go ahead on the committee.
We welcome everybody. We want everybody's participation and involvement.
Todos son bienvenidos. Queremos que todos participen.
Our next meeting is on Monday, or next meeting is August 20th.
La siguiente reunión es el 20 de agosto.
From 3:30 to 5.
3:30 a 5.
And it will be via Zoom.
Va a ser por medio de Zoom.
We encourage everybody to participate. Vendors are welcome.
Todos pueden participar.
As well.
Diferentes agencias igual.
As well as individuals who have been selected or are waiting to become part of the program when it rolls out to everyone in the state.
Igual, individuales que han sido elegidos por el programa o individuales que están esperando, ¿verdad? A ser elegidos ya cuando se abra a todos.
And so if you are interested in being part of the committee, a member of the committee,
si les interesa ser parte del comité, un miembro del comité,
when you attend the committee meeting, you will be able to gather information on how to become a member at that point.
Cuando asista a una reunión del comité, es cuando podría obtener más información de cómo ser un miembro del comité.
So again, this is a very important committee that helps us roll out the program and make sure that we're hearing our community.
Es un comité muy importante, ¿verdad? Que nos ayuda y que nos ayuda a desarrollar el programa.
And hearing what everybody's needs are.
Para escuchar qué son las necesidades de todos.
Okay. This is just a reminder, this is a 4-part series.
Un recordatorio, esta es una serie de 4 partes.
And I promise on the next part, we will not have the technical difficulties.
Y prometo que en la siguiente parte no vamos a tener dificultades técnicas.
We will have our Spanish translating line working.
Y sí vamos a asegurarnos que la línea telefónica de interpretación va a estar funcionando.
So in this session, you heard from the independent facilitators.
En esta sesión escucharon de los facilitadores independientes.
And the FMS companies.
De las agencias de administración fiscal.
Our service coordinators have been hard at work with participants.
Nuestras coordinadoras de servicios han estado trabajando mucho con nuestros participantes.
And finding services that meet their needs.
Y encontrando servicios en cual les llenan sus necesidades.
So our next session will highlight some of those providers that are working in self-determination.
Nuestra siguiente sesión, el enfoque sí va a ser en presentarles algunos de esos proveedores en cuales ya están trabajando en autodeterminación.
So again, thank you so much for coming today and hanging out through our technical issues.
De nuevo, muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy y por tolerar nuestras dificultades técnicas.
And we look forward to seeing you all next month.
Esperamos verlos a todos de nuevo el mes que entra.
Have a great day.
Que pasen feliz día.